maximum authenticity and a stamina to take the most bone-shattering fall. Every weekend in the Sydney suburb of Wahroonga, a formidable collection of fighting men go into battle. There's no room for Sunday morning hangovers with this special kind of madness. The lances, spears, swords, axes and other weapons which these modern-day knights use in combat are not imitations, neither are the fights. As far as the ancient and medieval martial arts society is concerned, it's all for real. David, Sydney, Australia seems an unusual place to find a society like this.
Well, not that unusual, Peter, because let's face it, most of us, even the new Australians of a European background, have a heritage of martial arts. I mean, the Romans, the Greeks developed their types of fighting and their arms and armour, and then of course the later medieval days, the Normans, Vikings, Saxons, and then on into the high Middle Ages. I mean, we all have somewhere in our background warriors, even though they may be only humble or if they may be of high birth. You know, we all have antecedents that we can identify with, and this is primarily one of our functions, is to help us get a better identification with the men of old.
This obviously began as a hobby, but it's sort of outgrown that category now, hasn't it?
That's right. We've sort of become semi-scientific, you might say, even because we work in with various people in museums, academic people, and we try and make our recreated arms and armour as accurate as we possibly can, so that tests that we do and the combats that we stage are as authentic as possible, to give sort of fairly valid insights into the problems of usage, the resistance of armour to attack, the physiological problems even involved in just plain wearing armour for 8 or 10 hours at a stretch and fighting a battle. Come on! Come on! D.I. Oh! Come on! Get him down.
Now, I take it you build all your own weapons, right down to the chainmail. That's a story in itself. How you get that?
Well, that's true. There's a lot of work goes into it. There's about 3 months' work in one hauberk, as it's called, of mail. John, would you like to come here for a second? You can show the viewers there. This full-length mail hauberk is typical of the 11th, 12th and even 13th centuries. There's anything up to 25,000, 30,000 links of wire rings, all handmade, and there's the best part of 3 months part-time work to make that. And it's fully authentic. It's
originally coat hangers.
Yeah, that's right. We started with old coat hangers mainly because they're free. You know, we're not very financial at the moment, I'm afraid.
That's about what, about 45 pounds of weight?
That one would weigh about 45 pounds. Yes, it's quite a long one. That.
They'd have to be fairly physically fit too.
Oh yes, they trained at a knight or a foot soldier used to wearing mail would have been trained at it from his early teens. We can cope with it, but after a day's fighting in it, you know it. We try and make it as real as we can. We don't choreograph it like the fighting you see in films. Each blow is pre-rehearsed, the reactions are pre-rehearsed, they know exactly where they're coming from. There's still an element of danger, naturally, any sort of fighting there is, but we try and, as closely as possible to what written accounts give us the information of recreate these battles. You know, I mean, we go out to win. It's nobody tosses a coin and says it's your turn tomorrow, Fred, and nobody does that. They just sort of.
So there's an element of surprise.
There's an element of surprise, and of course it's reasonably dangerous. But naturally, we draw the line at causing actual bodily harm. You know, I mean, you sort of nobody wants to hurt anyone. We're not sadists, or we don't get kicks out of hurting anyone. That's for sure. It's just an occasional accidental byproduct.